On October 5th, 2021, Super Smash Bros. Ultimate's final DLC character was released, Sora from Kingdom Hearts. This marked the end of additional characters or any other major content except for balance patches being added in for the rest of the game's lifecycle. While many games have tried to compete and offer a similar experience as Smash Bros. Like Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl, PlayStation All-Stars Battle Royale, and Brawlhalla, MultiVersus, in my opinion, offers more depth and production value than any of the previously mentioned games. Hi, I'm Joshua Armstrong, and I've been a casual fan of fighting games for about as long as I've liked video games. And, like many people, my first fighting game was a Super Smash Bros. Game. And while I still really like the franchise, when I did get access to the MultiVersus beta, I started to think to myself that there's definitely something special and unique here, and I think that this game might be better than Smash Bros. A point often criticized about Smash-like games is a lack of polish in comparison to Smash. Whether it's balance issues like overpowered characters, simple gameplay, poor sound design, or lack of voice acting. For example, one of the latest attempts at a Smash-like backed by nostalgia was Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl. To me, the game felt somewhat empty, mostly due to poor sound design, but the game also didn't handle too well in my opinion. The sounds in-game sounded like royalty-free sound effects you'd find on a soundboard, and originally, there was a complete lack of voice acting. The voice acting issue has since been rectified, with Nickelodeon bringing on a bunch of original voice actors to voice their characters again, but for me, the ship has sailed on this game, and now I got my eyes on MultiVersus. Alright, so I've explained why I didn't like some of the other games in the past, and I'm going to explain to you why I'm excited for MultiVersus and why maybe you should be too. Anyone who has watched any of the properties included in the game will immediately recognize that most of their original voice actors, or a voice actor who has previously played the role, are present to voice these characters. In the case of characters like Shaggy or Bugs Bunny, whose original voice actors have passed away, newer actors who have portrayed the role before are here to fill in their shoes, like Matthew Lillard as Shaggy. In fact, let's run through them all really quickly. Maisie Williams as Arya Stark, Kevin Conroy as Batman, Eric Bauza as Bugs Bunny and Tom and Jerry, Jeremy Shada as Finn the Human, Estelle as Garnet, Tara Strong as Harley Quinn, John DiMaggio as Jake the Dog, Matthew Lillard as Shaggy Rogers, George Newbern as Superman, Jim Cummings as the Tasmanian Devil, Kate Micucci as Velma Dinkley, Abby Trott, Daniel Devanere, and Jonathan Lapau, while not the original voice actors, lend their voices to bring Wonder Woman, Steven Universe, and the Iron Giant to life. Finally, rounding out the cast is Andrew Frankel, voicing an original character to the world of MultiVersus, Rain Dog. All these voices are also accompanied by a great soundtrack featuring remixes or original tracks that sample things like the 90s animated Batman theme. So you might be asking yourself, okay, so the game's got good sound design and good voice acting. Why does that make you think that it's going to be better than Smash? And the main reason why I think it is because it's been built from the ground up to be appealing to both casual players and competitive players, in a way that Smash has never been. While you're definitely able to just jump in and start smacking each other in the face, the depth of the game is surprising. Each character has a passive that affects gameplay, and many special moves apply buffs and debuffs to add to the complexity. To add to the depth of the game, many special moves have cooldowns to avoid spamming, which encourages you to properly time your moves for combos, and even your normal attacks receive a debuff if you spam them too many times in a row. These mechanics aren't going to be noticeable though if you're just playing around with your friends, meaning you can completely ignore them. However, in competitive environments, it will make all the difference. Next is the fact that by default, the game is intended to be a 2v2 game. This doesn't mean that you can't enjoy the game in a 1v1 scenario, but opening it up to 2v2 allows for so much depth of gameplay and skill expression. Most special moves interact with both you and your opponents, something that isn't really represented in Smash Bros. For example, Rain Dog's neutral special deals a small amount of damage in a line to enemies that pass through it, but if your teammates attach themselves to the end of the beam, you can become tethered to them and you can even save your teammate by pressing the button again to reel them into safety. Despite Smash Bros. Popularity being at an all-time high compared to all previous entries, one area that the game has always lacked in is its competitive scene. Despite multiple streamers, content creators, professional players, and large events like EVO wanting to participate in a competitive environment, Nintendo has done nothing to support the growth of the scene, and in fact has even hindered it multiple times by barring the game from being streamed at events. This is where MultiVersus can definitely overtake Smash. You see, MultiVersus is doing a lot to make sure that the game is as enticing as possible to competitive fighting game players and to the FGC at large, or fighting game community. While it's not a rare occurrence for fighting game devs to ask for the input of pro players for their games, it seems like the MultiVersus devs have listened to a lot of what the players have been asking for. For example, they've implemented dedicated server-based rollback netcode to support smoother online gameplay, something that even pillars of the genre seem to struggle with. I'm looking at you, Tekken. Finally, the biggest push they're making is with their presence at EVO this year, one of the largest fighting game tournaments of the year. MultiVersus will be holding a 2v2 tournament with a $100,000 prize pool at EVO, which is set to be held in Las Vegas on August 5th to 7th. This amount of money for a prize pool is actually a pretty big deal in the fighting game community. While obviously there's prize payouts for all the tournaments, not all of them pay out that well, and the ones that do, you have to qualify through multiple preliminaries. Let's take a look right now at some of the prizing that have been given out in the past at some of the bigger fighting game tournaments by comparison. For the Street Fighter V Capcom Cup in 2019, the prizing was first place got $250,000, second place $50,000, and third place got $21,000. At EVO 2015 in Ultra Street Fighter V, $33,000, $14,000, and $9,000. Combo Breaker 2022's Guilty Gear Strive tournament offered out a payout of $4,000, $2,000, and $1,000. DreamHack 2019's Tekken 7 tournament, first place got $2,500, while second place got $1,250, and third place got $750. While some of the larger tournaments can definitely compete with what MultiVersus is offering out at EVO, you have to remember that those tournaments are also hosted by the companies themselves, but they're also a much larger time sink. These tournaments tend to be year-long endeavors, meaning that you have to invest a lot more time in it, and you also need to go through a lot more just to get the prizing, whereas the MultiVersus tournament will be over the span of a weekend. Well, that about wraps things up for me. If you're interested in any more tech or gaming related content, make sure to subscribe and check out our channel. Also, be sure to let us know in the comments if you've been in the beta since June, or if you're going to get MultiVersus a little bit later. Anyway, I'm Joshua Armstrong with MobileSyrup. See you next time.